Louis Yadombachi. I work for the committee.
Ephraim Mamu, Senior Assistant Clerk to the committee.
Michael Ado, Audit Service.
Good morning, my name is Chris Doku, Audit Service.
Now let's have the introduction from the minister's team.
My name is Kokwam Prechum Sapo, MP for Asante Mampo and the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs.
Good morning. I'm Ambassador Ramses Cleland, Acting Chief Director, Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
My name is Simon, I'm Director and Internal Audit at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Kingsford Amoapo is my name, Director for Finance and Accounts, Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Nab Atabnium Adila Akambian Abakambong the First, Director Legal and Treaties, Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Honorable Deputy Minister, why is the Minister herself?
Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Minister is on another national assignment. That is why I'm here representing him and the Ministry. Okay. I know she's been honoring our invitation, so if today she's on a different assignment, we'll allow that you represent her for today's assignment. So you're welcome. Now I'll give you a minute. If you have any opening remarks, you can say before we start. Mr. Chairman and the members of the committee, we are here today to respond to the Auditor General's report as pertains to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration for the year 2018. The Auditor General's report did identify certain infractions which the Ministry was asked to go into and to take certain actions. We have done the best as we can as per the directions of the Auditor General. And we are here today to report to the committee as to the actions that we have taken. And if there are any further directions that the committee might want to give us, the Ministry stands ready to abide by it. Mr. Chairman, that is my brief initial comment. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your opening remarks. So we'll go straight now to the issues raised in the report. And I want to remind you that you are speaking on oath, and that when questions are put to you, if you don't have the answer, say so. It will be better that way than to say something that will later be found to be untrue. So just a reminder, I know you're already aware. And to all those people who will be speaking to the issues before the committee today, thank you very much. We'll start with Honorable Dakwa, who will be taking paragraph 518 of the reports of the Auditor General to paragraph 521, 518 to 521. Honorable.
Thank you, Chairman. So, the Auditor General noted that during the examination of revenue records for the period of October 2016 to September 2017, a total of $30,097 was collected as consular fees. However, only $20,830 was accounted for, leaving a difference of $9,266. $9,000. Can you tell us what steps you've taken to recover the shortage? You note that this was from 2016 and we're in 2022, so I'd like to know the steps you've taken all these years to recover the said amount of money.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will ask my Director of Inspectorate to respond to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Cotonou mission was tasked to recover this amount from Mr. Yekpe, who was a consular assistant. And 3 months of his salary were used to defray.
Kindly speak to the mic so that we can hear you well, because we are recording.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, the Cotonou mission was tasked to recover the amount from the consular assistant, Mr. Yekpe. Initially, 3 months of his salary were used to defray the amounts, and that came to $4,872 52 cents. Subsequently, as per the necessary treasury counter receipts, the rest of the amount was recovered from Mr. Yekpe, and we have submitted all documents to the Auditor General for validation and verification. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Auditors, can you confirm that the full amount of $9,266,000 has been recovered?
Thank you, Chairman. The final payment was made on the 24th of March 2021, and you can confirm that the amount has been recovered. Thank you. The final payment was made on the 24th of March 2021, and we can confirm that the entire amount has been recovered. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Director, per your own response, you said that 2,750,087 CFA has been recovered. I don't know whether the dollar equivalent is the dollar equivalent that is 4,000.
Mr. Chair, the 4,000 was the initial amount that was recovered through defraying his salary, 3 months of his salary. Subsequently, the rest was recovered by the mission, and that is stated, that was as per paid 24th March 2021. So
Okay.
the 4,000 is the first tranche, and the second tranche was further collected from him. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, per your response, if, you said that leaving an outstanding balance of 2,705,087,000 into bracket 4,875. I want to know whether it is that is the balance that has now been recovered.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that's the balance that has been
Okay,
recovered.
thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. When we say has been recovered, what exactly do you mean?
Mr. Chair, it means the amount was paid by the officer, and this was paid into our account, and the mission confirms and issued a treasury counterfeit receipt to confirm that the amount has been paid into the bank account of the mission. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, I observed that when the auditors quoted the amount in CFA, they also put into parentheses the dollar equivalent. This auditing was done in 2018, and the final payment, as indicated here, shows that it was March 2021. And the amount quoted here is in CFA, 705,087 CFA. At the time of the payment, was this amount equivalent to the dollar amount as quoted?
Mr. Chair, the currency in Beninois is the CFA. So the amount that was collected from the gentleman was in CFA. So it's for a little bit of clarity. That's how come the dollar equivalent is normally added by the external auditors. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Indeed, it's confirmed that the money has been recovered. But then per the report that we have here, it said the anomaly occurred due to lack of effective monitoring and supervision on the part of the head of the Chancery and accounting officer. Do you agree to that? And if you agree to that, what measures are you putting in place so that going forward, we are not going to see such things? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Having identified that this infraction happened because there was laxity in the monitoring and supervision, instructions have actually gone to the mission concerned and other missions that head of chancelleries and officers and ambassadors should be on the ball and to ensure that such infractions do not occur at their missions. So we've taken the necessary action to reinforce monitoring and supervision at our missions. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, to add to the Honourable Minister's comments, the Ministry has also had a series of training for the officers at the missions. And we also noticed that sometimes some of our regulations need to be strengthened a bit. So we are reviewing our regulations to ensure that it includes sanctions to prevent officers from being a bit lax at post. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so let's move on to paragraph 546 to 552. Honorable Charles.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Minister, according to...
They are going to for a meeting.
Chair, according to the audit reports, the the Kamal Ben Youngly failed to account for consular fees amounting to 18,000 euros. Has that been recovered?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is waiting for your answer, please. Has been recovered 18,000 euros.
We have, as can be seen, this is the this refers to audience mission, and we are talking about the honorary consul in Tunisia. We do have challenges in cross-border transfers. We don't have a mission in Tunisia, so the honorary consul operates over there, and there are regulations for the transfer of revenues from Tunisia. But on this occasion, it went back and forth, but yes, I think the mission's fax message revealed that the mission has recovered the 3,757.46 from the honorary consul in Tunisia. There has been other actions that has been taken against the honorary consul.
How much has been recovered?
That is 3,757.46 euros.
So what about the remaining 15,000 euros? Because the total sum there is 18,000 euros, approximately. We could say it's up to 19,000 euros. But you have recovered 3,000 euros.
That was the total revenue that was identified by the audit. The man claims that he used part of all those for legitimate administrative expenditures in that in conducting the jurisdiction, in that jurisdiction. So that is what it is. But subsequently, funds was not up to scratch because we could not go there and transfer. He would not give the books for audit inspection, and so we had to terminate his contract from there. In any case, let me say as an addition, we do have challenges with honorary consuls in certain jurisdictions in transfer of revenue to the main accredited mission. There are certain jurisdictions where they forbid transfers of money from that country, and if we are not domiciled there, then it becomes a challenge. So that is a challenge which we're trying to look at other IT-related and platforms for which it will be a cashless payment system such that if they make the payments there, it will hit the accounts of the mission, the accredited or of concurrent accreditation.
So my understanding was that this was cash. This was cash received, and we are in 2022. The IT platforms have gone up high. So I'm just wondering why up to 2017 we are still doing this cash thing. Because if you're having challenges with such things, what shows that going forward it will happen again?
Honorable Chair, thank you for the question. This was in 2017. Since then, we've reviewed our systems. We have a customer integration system which has cashless payment, which hits, in fact, on most of our missions. We should be mindful of the fact that it is very easy to do this in the advanced first world countries. Most of our African jurisdictions we still go by the cash basis. But yes, we have improved considerably from 2017 to now. And on the payment platform, we do have a payment system where it has to go directly to the mission. The challenge here is that it's in different jurisdictions. It is in Tunisia, and sometimes the financial regulations says that they don't allow you to move money from that jurisdiction to, I wouldn't want to mention certain countries, but we have countries where we have that that limitation. In fact, even to the extent of some European countries, even in the advanced world, where we cannot move money.
Auditor, he's saying that it was 3,000 euros, but you put in 18,000 euros. Is there a disparity?
Honorable Chair, no, there's no disparity. Per our records and per the audit that was conducted, the amount involved is 18,938 euros.
So you, from the auditor's own, she said it's 18,000, but you are saying 3,000. So,
yeah. I believe what the Director of Finance was actually emphasizing was that 3,757 had been recovered, and not that the amount was 18,000. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I'll leave that to your guidance.
Where is Consul Kamer Ben? Yageli, or Yakeni? Where is he now?
Yes, but he's been sacked.
The former honorary consul has been relieved by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of his engagement. We found and we have emphasized as often as we can to the honorary consuls that they do not work at their own discretion, but under the strict authorization and authority of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Where they are found to be derelict financially and in terms of their competence and otherwise, we are quick to relieve them as has been indicated and shown in this case. Thank you very much.
My question is, where is he now?
He is in Tunisia, please, and we are cooperating and working with the Ministry of Tunisia to try and retrieve the rest of the monies that are in his keeping. Thank you.
This embezzlement, if you like, took place in 2012, and from 2012 up to now, you have been trying to retrieve the money. What exactly have you been doing to retrieve the money?
We've been working, Mr. Chair, through our mission in Tunisia to try and get the authorities to pursue him for the monies. To date, he has not made the work easy, and the ministry is working with the institutions under their jurisdiction and within their competence to try and retrieve the amount from him. We're doing our very best, Mr. Chair.
No evidence of what you are doing. It's been 10 years now, 2012 to 2022. So I'm not convinced that you are working to retrieve the money. Show me evidence of what you are doing to retrieve the money. Oh, okay.
The ranking member want to know the effort you are making to retrieve the money from Mr. Kamel, because he started taking the money from 2012. Then detect 2018. So the information also came to your notice after the audit report in 2018. So from 2018 to date, what effort have you made, apart from the 3,000 that you have recovered from him? What effort are you making to recover the remaining 15,000 plus?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I kindly ask the Director Legal or the Legal Department to respond to that? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, the ministry is working hard to retrieve this money, and one of the things that we've done is to constantly, as my chief director put it, engage with the host foreign ministry, and we do have correspondences to that effect, where we have sought the information of the host foreign ministry for this money to be recovered. Honorable Chair, subsequently we will be more than glad to share the correspondences with you, your esteemed committee. Thank you very much.
This man is a Tunisian, right?
Yes, Mr. Chair, he is. And he was employed as a local staff of the mission.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm the honorary consul, but
Honorary
from
consul.
the geographical area of Tunisia.
Okay.
Sorry.
Chairman, thank you. The committee wants to know what was the nature of the engagement. The nature of the engagement will inform us regarding what happens when he leaves our employment. So what was the nature of the engagement?
Director Legal would respond to that, please.
Thank you, Mr. Honorable Chair. Typically, when we engage honorary consuls, they would apply, and then the processes, internal and external, are activated. In the case of Ghana, the applicant's the application is submitted to the ministry, it is vetted, and then passed on to national security, and subsequently to the office of the president. When acceptance is conveyed, we then appoint the person. In the past, the honorary consuls held the position in perpetuity, and what has occasioned this particular instance is that because they held the post in perpetuity, many of them did not, in fact, think that they were at the behest or under the authority of the ministry. Now, following this particular infraction and a few others, all honorary consuls would now hold their positions subject to contract, and for 3 years. 3 years in the first instance, and then the renewal will be based on performance, competence, and so forth. And we've seen since then that many of them are adhering to the financial and other administrative regulations, and so we think that it is nearing to our benefit. And then also, we have instituted some training programs for those.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Chair, there's a second question to it. The auditors could not identify the JCRs. I think about they could not identify JCRs, so they could not determine the amount of revenue that was gotten from 2012 to 2017. What are those JCRs?
Mr. Chair, thank you very much for the question. In the auditor's subsequent visit to the mission, the value books were presented to them, and they duly audited them. Thank you very much.
Madam Auditor, please can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, yes, the GCRs has now been presented for audit.
For audits?
Yes, they presented it on our follow-up, on our next visit to the place.
Okay. Chair.
Well, on the issue of the first one, Mr. Kamel Ben Yakhele, we're not having convincing argument in terms of how you want to retrieve the balance from him. Because you said the ministry is trying hard to retrieve the money, but what are the steps apart from contacting the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Tunisia? What is the current status in terms of the correspondence you have with the Foreign Affairs Ministry in Tunisia? Does that correspondence give hope that the money will be retrieved? Let's hear from you.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. As we indicated earlier on, Mr. Chair, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, so now the best that we can do is to work through our mission in Algiers, which has supervision over the matters in Tunisia, and closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Tunisia. We have letters and documentation to really prove that there is constant engagement with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Tunisia, but the gentleman has not been cooperative to date. So we can only continue to pursue the vigorous efforts that we're making through our mission and to work closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Tunisia, Mr. Chair. We have the documents, we'll bring it, we'll bring them to your attention as soon as possible.
Let's have those documents so that we'll know what recommendation we will also make to the Parliament.
We will, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Now let's move to the next item, that will be paragraph 522, Honorable Roxon.
Chairman, thank you. It's about the New York mission. Now, the issue here is in respect of some dictated unlawful payments in respect of your account with AT&T Mobility Bank. No, with American Bank. Yes, alleging that AT&T Mobility did some work for you. Now, the auditors have further dictated that as of the time of the audit, there was some refund totaling $28,160.24 cents, $60.24. Leaving an outstanding of $56,413.06 cents. But I see that in your management response, Mr. Chairman, they have indicated that they wrote upon the dictation of this matter, they wrote for a quick reversal of the outstanding, and that has been done. Now you have further demanded from the bank to inquire into the circumstances surrounding this unlawful transfer. You're further telling the committee that even though you've made that demand, you haven't heard from the bank, but you've gone ahead to close the account. What's the situation now?
Mr. Chair, as you indicated, the amount that were deducted from our account were recovered from the AT&T through the bank, and we have submitted all the necessary documentation to the Auditor General's report. We still have not received any report on the investigation for further action, and we'll continue to task our New York mission to follow up and give us updates, and we will duly present that to the committee when we get that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Now, thank you. It's important that the bank, you hear from the bank in this matter, even though the account in question has been. What's the difference between closed and cancelled?
Thank you very much for the question. I think the practice is not uncommon in the sense that in places like New York and in other big cities, we have arrangements where to facilitate missions work, we contract with huge companies such as AT&T, as in the case in New York, where the telephone bills are easily deducted from the missions accounts based upon our authorization that we've given them. It's a relationship of trust. And once we identified that the trust was not reciprocated, and that there was some uncharacteristic mismanagement on their part, we went as quickly as possible, as soon as it was identified, to cancel the contract that we had with them, because then it's based on the contract. So we canceled it and then asked them to institute measures to identify how those that mishandling of our accounts took place. So we did not want to allow that relationship to continue pending the investigations. Once we had identified that such huge amounts of money had been taken without our authorization, we canceled it immediately. We thought it was the most responsible thing to do, to protect their accounts, and then they subsequently refunded, but then we thought the best thing to do was to cancel the contract.
Okay, thank you. Auditors, can you confirm, and then if you can, when you got the confirmation?
Honorable Chair, I can confirm that the amount has been refunded.
When did you receive confirmation from them?
It was based on our follow-up. That was just before we came to the center. We had the information that it had been refunded.
No, you made your determination, so it was brought to their attention, and then they responded and took some action. So I want to know when they informed you.
Chair, I'll provide the dates by close of work today.
Very well.
I need some clarification, I beg you. Are we saying that if we had contract with 10 companies, anytime any of the companies messes up, we'll close our account? And that will mess the other 9 companies? Is that what you're telling me today?
No, please. I'm only taking it on a case-by-case basis. And I'm identifying and I'm underlining that with this case in particular, we did not have a situation where we had the companies, as many as the companies that you are mentioning, 9 companies. We had one huge company in front of us, and we felt there was a lack of responsibility on their part, especially where such huge amounts of money could not be accounted for. We felt there was dereliction on their part, and we went ahead to cancel it. It wasn't an instance or a case where we were going to pay for canceling the contract. There was obviously a dereliction on their part, and it wasn't the case also that we could not find another telephone company to take care of our business. Thank you.
I'm talking in relation to the bank account.
No, please. I think the error there is not a bank account. It's the contract with the company.
No,
Thank
I
you.
understand.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you.
Okay. Before I take the next point, if the auditors are unable to give us the exact date, when do you recollect informing the auditors regarding the total refund of the outstanding 56,000?
14th May 2021, please.
Last year?
Yes, please.
Last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman, the last point on the New York is that the auditors observed an unaccounted for direct debit, which, okay, I think it's the same issue. It's the same issue. Chairman, that will be all.
How often do you reconcile your accounts? This is a general one within the missions. I will expect that there's a treasury officer who followed this account and should have detected this anomaly, because I believe it was not just one debit, several. So how often are the accounts reconciled?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The accounts is supposed to be reconciled. Reconciliation of bank statements is supposed to be done monthly, immediately following the close of the bank or the end of the month. Is supposed to be reconciled. Thank you.
What was the period of this anomaly? What was the period?
Can you come again, please? I don't understand.
You don't understand. As I said, these direct debits may have occurred over a certain period. Because you said you do reconcile your accounts monthly. Is that what you are saying? Or you are saying they are supposed to be reconciled?
Supposed to be reconciled monthly.
But not necessarily reconciled monthly.
That is what is the rule says. You do that monthly.
So can you tell me then the period over which this infraction, was it 6 months or 1 year, or if you like, from when to when?
I don't have that information to give, please.
Anyway.
Let's move to the next item. Paragraph 525, Honorable Tufero.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Mine is on the Burnin mission. And I want to know what will occasion a situation where cash withdrawal to the tune of over 300,000 US dollars will be drawn from the cash book or bank. 19 checks are involved, 29 checks, and there was no request, no approval, no PV, and there's no even entry of this transaction in a cash book. Auditors came, did their work, issue an initial observation on the matter. After 3 months, you were not able to provide an answer. Today you are here, and your response at page 3 of 10 submission you have made is that today relevant and payment vouchers are available. The cash book is also here, and the audit service, and sent to the audit service for verification. Can we understand this?
At the time the auditors were at the mission, the accounting officer who's supposed to write the account was on maternity leave. And so that's how come we're told that, we're informed that they wrote them down, but they didn't have the technical expertise to do the necessary payment vouchers. So subsequently, when she came back, these were prepared. And when they were prepared, they were submitted to the auditors.
When the auditors came back?
When the auditors were there,
yes,
the accounting officer who supposed to handle accounts was on maternity leave. So subsequently, they were prepared. The vouchers and the PVs were prepared and sent to the external auditors for verification.
Chairman, I've heard the answer. Please help me. Help me understand it properly. And then members, take, you can, I mean, I'm done. So you, if yeah.
Please, what's the length of the maternity leave for the consulate? Is it 3 months or beyond?
Normal maternity leave is 3 months. But if I remember, this lady had a set of twins, so I think she probably took. No, Honorable. This is the explanation that the mission gave us, and that's what we're presenting.
Extended maternity leave.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, so please, have we verified that those PVs are appropriate?
Auditors.
Honorable Chair, yes, the PVs have now been presented for audit with the supporting documents. Yes, we are okay.
This question is generating interest, I can see from members. But at the time of the audit, the PVs were not prepared, or they were prepared, but
they were not prepared, Mr.
They were not prepared.
Mr. Chair, they were not prepared.
Was that the first time that the mission was audited?
No, Mr. Chair.
So what happened? In the previous audit, the PVs were prepared. Why this one, the PVs were not prepared? Is it the staff? Yes. What happened?
Mr. Chair, at most missions, we have the head of chancery, an accounting officer, and then the head of mission. So in this particular case, the accounting officer, who was a female, had given birth and she was on maternity leave. Mr. Chair, thank you very much.
So nobody there to prepare the PVs?
No, Mr. Chair, but
which means that expenditure was incurred where proper documentation were not done before the expenditure goes against the financial regulations of this country. And then the head of Chancery was supervising this.
Mr. Chair, sometimes because of the level of staff in some of our missions, the other thing we would have done was to have sent somebody to stand in.
And why was that not done? You didn't have the staff to send. That would be the answer, right?
Yes, and the cost as well. Because the person who go would also be paid for, whilst the person who is on maternity leave will also be paid.
But you don't know the cost of this one. This law, you don't know it. If you compare the two, you don't know, so you can't just look at one side and say the cost. You are preventing cost, but you are incurring costs here, you don't know. The auditor said the PVs have been prepared and you are satisfied with the PVs that you were given.
Mr. Chair, we can probably just apologize profusely for this state of affairs, and it's really not something that is that frequently happens in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because as soon as we have cases of maternity leave, we ensure that a replacement is sent as quickly as possible to do the work and ensure that there is continuity. In this case, it was one of those that fell through the cracks, and we just want to assure the committee that it will not happen again. Thank you.
There's another one for Honorable Tufero. Kofi, take that one, 528.
528.
Page 230.
All right. Well, I had only wanted to find out, but he's apologized. So, Mr. Chairman, we leave it at that for now, because pregnancy is not an emergency situation. At least 9 months. So you were aware that there will be leave. And so you have to prepare ahead, unless this pregnancy was 1 month pregnancy. But so we must not allow, especially for pregnancy. If it's medical, we can say, okay, that one is an emergency and it just happened, so you couldn't prepare. But for pregnancy, such an excuse is difficult to accept, especially considering the amount of money that is involved in this instance.
Kofi, some pregnancy don't show early unless you are told.
Thank you, Mr.
Order, please continue.
So, paragraph 528, an end salary. The audit that was done disclosed that Mrs. Gertrude Kumoji and Simon Bedeman, who have both been separated from the mission since September 2016 to May 2017, respectively, continue to receive salaries. You responded that appropriate letters had been addressed to these two persons involved to refund the unearned salaries, and they urge you to do so. What has happened to this situation?
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. As soon as it was detected that there was a situation of unearned salary, the appropriate steps were taken to retrieve the monies, by which time Mrs. Gertrude Kumoji had left, and the monies were, she was however pursued, and the amounts have been retrieved from both officers, and all relevant documents were forwarded to the Auditor General, please.
That's good, but you would have to put systems in place so that such a situation don't repeat itself. In this case, if maybe the auditors have not gone, it would have been money lost to the state. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. And just to add to that, I do concur, and just want to underline that we have internal audits mechanisms and systems also in place where they are sent to the missions as often as we can. So even before the external auditors come and do their jobs and complete their task, we have internal audits personnel who identify some of the errors also before the external auditors come to identify. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The next one is paragraph 531. 531. Fictitious payment to Glencoe Construction Engineering Limited, $60,000. That is a Riyadh mission. Now, the mission is supposed to construct a residency at the mission. What is the state of that residency construction?
As far as we are concerned, there is no construction in Riyadh at the moment with regards to a chancery.
So the auditors say that the head of the mission, the head of Chancery, Mr. Martin Edu Ago, paid together with the ambassador, Alaji Sunari, paid an amount of $60,000 on 3rd January 2017 into an account number quoted with the Royal Bank Limited in Accra. This payment was in favor of Glencoe Construction Limited for consultancy services in respect of the construction of the residency. Now, the auditor says that their checks revealed that there was no evidence of work done at the mission. But the mission paid the company this amount, $60,000. The auditors also continue to say that a checks follow-up at the Registrar General Department revealed that the company, that is Glencoe Construction Limited, Engineering Limited, was incorporated on the 7th of January 2017, 3 days after the payment. Now let me end there and I'll follow up with my question. Auditors, your checks at the Registrar General Department show that the company was incorporated on 7th January 2017. Do you have the evidence to that? Auditors, and share evidence with the committee that the company was incorporated on the 7th of January 2017.
Honorable Chair, unfortunately, we don't have the evidence with us here, but we have it, so we'll provide it by close of day.
Clerk, I want you to show this certificate of incorporation, Glencoe Construction Engineering Limited, to them and see if that is a company. Have you cited the document?
Honorable Chair, yes, we have cited the
Is that
document.
a company you're referring to?
Unfortunately, this is a photocopied document. So we'll go back and then check on what we have with us.
Definitely, you don't expect to see the original with me. So it's a photocopy that I'll have. I hope that the one you also have is not original. It's photocopy.
Yes, sir.
So, now, what date is the date of incorporation of the one which is the photocopy you're referring to? Well, maybe you didn't look at the date. Let me read the date. This is certificate of incorporation. I certify that the Glencoe Construction Engineer Limited is this day incorporated under the company's code 1963 at 179, and that the liability of its members is limited, given under my hand and official seal at Victoria Park, Accra, this 17th day of April 2013. So the company was incorporated in 2013. Signed, Registrar of Companies, Ghana. Why are you saying in the report that the company was registered in 7th January 2017?
Honorable Chair, per the audits and the further checks done at the Registrar General's Department, the company was incorporated on the 7th of January 2017. That's what our checks revealed when we made the further checks.
Okay, I'll like you to get copies of that your evidence from it. The 7th was the President Anado, the Registrar General is busily in the office signing document.
Mr. Chairman, 7th January 2017 was a Saturday.
That's the day we sworn in the President.
Mr. Chairman, apart from being a swearing day, it was a Saturday.
The Director General could not have been working.
7th January 2017 was Saturday.
Now, let me continue. This is another document. This one is going to the ministry. And this document is dated 30th August 2016. And the subject is proposed infrastructure activities at some selected missions. It reads, please refer to missions message number RYM/AC/RE dated 13th June 2016, requesting approval to pay Glencoe Construction Engineering Limited an amount of $60,000 for consultancy services in respect of the construction of a residency for the mission at the diplomatic quarters in Riyadh. I am to convey approval for the mission to engage the services of Glencoe Construction Engineering Limited at a stated cost as requested. Respectful regards. Signed for the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Humphrey C. Ajongba, Director, Estates and General Services Bureau. I want the to look at this if this is coming from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just to ensure that we are dealing with a properly signed document from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the authentic document, we would confirm it, please. Thank you very much.
Maritime Hospital, Gapoha, the same thing. These are type of hospitals, Commercial Bank Hospital, Cocoa Board Hospital. The Ministry of Health